Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. Today our topic is Plato's theory of education. So let's dissect this topic in complete depth. Historians cannot find any evidence on Plato's early education as a child, but seeing as he belonged to an influential aristocratic family from Athens, it's assumed that he went through the Athenian form of education that was oriented towards culture, arts, academics, and intelligence. However, some sources claim that Plato was a bright student who was given the best teachers of his time, at one point learning philosophy under another great Greek philosopher Socrates. Plato valued education and the way it changes people. He was known for thinking about an ideal government and society and believed that to maintain a stable state, it was necessary that all citizens were educated. Plato was known for having ideas about a perfect state, and he believed that education was one of the keys to eradicating evil and achieving this. Because if people were educated and sound, then the need for establishing laws were unnecessary, but if they were uneducated, then the laws were useless. For Plato, education was more than just memorizing facts while sitting in a classroom from youth to maturity. Instead, education was a lifelong process and even adults could be trained and educated, thus created a system in which even adults were trained. Lifelong education. In Plato's The Republic, Plato wrote that education was not limited to youth and that one could continue to learn even after they reached maturity. It wasn't just the mind that was affected by learning, but also the soul in different stages of growth. Thus, in different stages of life, people observed certain ways of learning. It starts in infancy and childhood, where the character is trained through emotions. By adolescence, people can begin to understand logical reasoning as well as science and philosophy. Younger adults can start to understand more advanced physical and intellectual concepts and search for their own versions of their truth. Plato's The Allegory of the Cave will help understand more about Plato's beliefs on the truth. But while Athenian education was limited to male children, Plato takes it one step further and argues that for a truly perfect state, both boys and girls needed to receive an education. Plato didn't see a difference between what men and women were capable of, and their roles in a perfect society required both sexes to be educated. Education system according to Plato. Plato believed that a state must have a structured system where children of both sexes must attend school. This is because he believed that every member of society, though they will each have their own specific role in society later in life, must all have equal education at the start of their training. Plato divided the system of education into two: elementary and higher education, and divided classes based on age and class. Plato believed that in order to maintain a utopian society, the government, specifically the ruler or whoever was in charge, had to control the education and the information their people learned. He believed that it was a means for a ruler to shape its people's beliefs and provide them with patriotic devotion towards their state and the duties they needed to perform. Plato did not believe that people could discern right from wrong for themselves and could be negatively influenced by the wrong type of literature and art. And the only person who had the right to decide what should and shouldn't be censored is the ruler. Plato's beliefs beg the question of what would happen if an unfit ruler used the power of controlling what their people learned for their own benefit. By regulating what people should and should learn, a corrupt ruler can easily sway what people think to their own advantage because there would be no source of information for their people to contradict them. That's all for today's lecture. Hope you understood the concept. Take care and stay blessed.